This Guatemalan boy was reunited with his mother after 58 days apart. He's one of nearly 2,000 migrant kids who've been reunited with their parents since the start of the zero-tolerance policy in May. But the family separation crisis is far from over. More than 500 migrant children remain separated, and for 386 of them, it's because their parents have been deported overseas without them.
We've had some of them tell us that they were told to get on the plane, that their child was going to be on another plane, and they were going to meet them at the airport once they arrived in Honduras. And then obviously that was not the case.
Efren Olivares is a program director at the Texas Civil Rights Project. The nonprofit is representing a dozen deported parents whose kids are left behind in the U.S. That includes Guatemalan mother Eva Ordóñez López.
El oficial de migración me dijo a mí, aceptas ser deportada a Guatemala porque solamente así tu hijo va a ser entregado inmediatamente a tu familiar, ¿no?
Ordóñez López crossed illegally into the U.S. in June with her 17-year-old to escape local gang threats. She was deported back to Guatemala a week later because she thought her son would be released to relatives in the U.S. But that didn't happen. Her son remains in U.S. custody, and she hasn't been told yet where and when she can be reunited with him.
Estamos sufriendo mucho por esta separación, porque tanto yo le hago falta a él me hace falta a mí también. Yo lo único que le pido al gobierno es que me permita estar nuevamente junto conmigo. No importa cómo quiera que sea, pero yo quiero reunirme conmigo.
Last week, the White House submitted a plan to locate all deported parents, which a federal judge called very impressive. Once located and background checked, the parents will be asked by the government to choose between having their child sent to them in their home country or allowing them to stay in the U.S. with a relative or a sponsor. But Olivares says his clients should be given a third option, reuniting with their kids in the U.S. in order to properly seek asylum as a family again.
Because of the torture that the adult and the children were subjected to in the separation, I think the government has at the very least a moral obligation to bring those parents back.
In the criminal justice system, parents and kids get separated all the time.
When you commit a crime, sure, you cannot bring your kid to court. But once you conclude your case, once you complete your sentence, your child is there waiting for you. And that was not the case for 3,000 of these families. All of these people who are crossing for the first time, they are charged with a misdemeanor called illegal entry. If they plead guilty, they are sentenced to time served, which means if they were arrested 2 days ago, they are sentenced to 2 days. So the day of the sentence, they completed their criminal case. They go back to immigration facilities, but the children are gone by then. That's the big difference between this and any other regular crime.
The administration says that it has established contact with the deported parents of all but 26 of the 386 kids whose parents are abroad. Additionally, about 200 children have not been reunited, the White House says, either because the parents chose against reunification, because of red flags in the parents' background check, or because of separate litigation.